like a day and a half worth of prep. You know, tape it up and spray it. Over at Speedokote Finish Network. Alright guys, we got another Bebop Honda quick little spray job we're going to do on this thing. Surprisingly, the car does not need a lot of body work. The hood is pretty trashed, which we're just going to get it better than what it is, but the rest of the car is actually reasonably straight. It has had a paint job in the past, so I'm sure they did, you know, a fair amount of body work to it. This quarter panel's had some, you know, Bondo work done to it. But the rest of the car is actually in pretty good shape, reasonably straight. But the paint, however, is pretty garbage. It's very, I would say, kind of faded. We got a bunch of stuff we got to fix up, a bunch of scratches and stuff like that. And you can just see how bad the clear shrunk back in certain areas. Especially in here, that looks like it's about getting ready to delaminate right through there, and just probably looked good about a couple years ago, but don't look good now, so we're going to freshen it up.
Scientific minds we have today.
Guys, it is paint day. We are ready to start hosing this thing down. We're going with a pretty interesting color on this one. For those of you guys that follow my YouTube posts, y'all probably already got a little bit of a sneak peek of kind of close to what it's going to be. Because we are going with a more colorful paint job, we're going to go ahead and do a nice little spit and wipe with our Skittles C4. And that will ensure the color gods above will bless us with a nice, beautiful, colorful paint job. You guys know the sugars in them drinks, you know, they act as like, they get a little sticky, you know, so it acts as like a artificial adhesion promoter. Wipe the rest of this down, and we're ready for paint.
Alright, so we're getting ready to put on our first coat of color. Now, this is just some Kirker cheap, real crap, you know, dumpster paint. It's a Kirker 2.8 single stage. It's decent stuff. It does lay out decent. Coverage is so-so. You really got to kind of smack it on there real wet. We're spraying it without an activator. It will still dry without an activator. For those of you guys that didn't know, it just won't have the maximum durability, gloss, and shine and hardness as, you know, it would if you put activator in it. Now, it doesn't really matter because we're going to put clear coat over top of it anyways with our pearls and all that other good stuff, so it really doesn't matter. We're just using this to get us a purple base. How I'm laying this down the first coat, we're smacking it on real wet because we already have a solid foundation with that Speedokote primer. Sealed it up real nice, so we're not worried about any paint reactions or crow's feet or lifting or anything like that. We're not really worried about that because we got a real solid coat of sealer on this car. So you really, within reason, can kind of just pile it on there pretty much however you want within reason. Like I said, we're putting it on there real wet, getting that first coat down real wet, real smooth. That way it lays as flat as possible. And then we can always come back and put a little extra slow reducer in our paint and come back and do a control coat, walk the gun all the way up and down the car, get the metallics nice and smooth and even, and then shoot for, you know, your clear. Or if you're like us today, we're going to be doing a little bit of crazy stuff. We're going to put a little bit of flip-flop pearl and some clear and do a little magic stuff. Alright, so we're coming down home run stretch with the SMR 42 clear. Putting it on reasonably wet. We actually mixed this stuff up and let it sit for about 10 minutes. You know, mixed it in with the activator and all that good stuff. Just let it sit. And I noticed you can actually pound this stuff on a little bit wetter and actually get it a little bit flatter by doing it this way. And pretty much almost all clears work like this. You really don't want to just mix them up and start spraying them. Because if your activator isn't fully mixed in with the product and it's not drying, it's running. That's my favorite saying. If paint is not drying, it's running. So we're putting this coat on pretty wet, and this is going to be it. You know, this is going to be the last coat. And getting it on there real wet, nice, smooth, and even. As you guys can see, the Black Spider is killing it. This gun is atomizing literally every single stage of this job perfectly. Atomize the sealer. You guys know I hate doing sealers on hot days, but unfortunately with this car I had to. I had no choice. But even though we had to seal the full car, we got very minimal to almost no orange peel out of that sealer. The Black Spider, man, puts it down. It's one of the best guns out there. for the $200 paint gun market, it's one of the best out there, man. It just effortlessly puts down the paint, as you guys can see, and it just does a great job. A lot of talk in the YouTube community as far as which spray gun to buy and which one atomizes the product the best and which one works with waterborne and solvent the best and base coat metallic and all that other good stuff. Listen, you can have the best paint gun in the world, okay? If you ain't got patience and you're not using user-friendly paints that are designed to work with the user, none of that matters. The spray gun doesn't matter. You got to have patience, especially with a job like this where we're doing about 6-7 coats of paint. The biggest thing is patience, and if you have that, usually you get a pretty good paint.
Come on.
Have it. First custom paint job I've done in over a year. When I say custom, I mean like custom, no paint code, custom pigment, mixing up stuff, you know, bench mixing stuff. Long time, it's been a long time. Definitely isn't perfect, you know. I only did one coat of the pearl and I did it a lazy way. I actually mixed it in with the clear coat, which is a big no-no if you're a beginner, because if you get a run in that pearl, and you know, when you're spraying your pearl coat mixing with your clear, you get a run, you're done. Okay? Get a run, you're done. There's no, well, I can just wet hand it out. Blah, 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 blah. Nope. You're done. Flat out, got to sand, respray. Might not be able to fix it, actually. The lazy way, threw the pearl in the clear. I did one coat because I didn't want to overpower the pearl over top of the purple. So, you know, if I wouldn't be able to do a second coat and kind of do like a drop coat, how you do metallics. Metallic. How you do metallics, you do your first coat and you do a drop coat and you kind of even everything out. I would have gotten a little bit more evenness out of this job, but overall, yeah, like I said, guys, this looks fine. You know, cool little 1-day, 2-day paint job. I think this looks acceptable. Mind you, over top of the pearl coat, we only did one coat of SMR 42 clear. One coat. One solid full coat of clear. And this is what we got. Alright. It's fully shrunk back, whatever it's going, you know, the SMR 42 really don't shrink. Whatever little 1% or 2% of shrink back, you know, you get with all clears. So this is what we got. Real nice gloss, man. Real nice gloss. Material costs for the job, including primer, body filler, base coat, clear coat, pearls, all that other stuff, was right around $300. So, you know, this wasn't really an expensive paint job either. We only used half of a SMR 42 kit. Those are, you know, $160, so that's about $80 worth of clear. You know, not a whole lot of money, guys. If you're like me, you got a couple friends, y'all want to pitch in some work and whatnot, and have you one of these old beat bop cars, you can do something like this in a weekend, a Saturday or Sunday. It's not rocket science to do, guys. Now, spraying is a little bit complicated, especially when it comes to the pearls. You definitely got to know what you're doing with that. I would recommend doing full 2 coats of pearls as opposed to one. You might get a little bit more of an evenness down the side, but overall it's not rocket science, guys. Other than the base coat, this was a full Speedokote job. Speedokote primer, Speedokote clear, Speedokote, we did the body filler, the primer filler. These are all Speedokote products. Even this purple, if you guys give me a paint code, I can even get you this purple as well if y'all like the purple that went down. Plenty of paint codes out there that are extremely similar, pretty much have the same exact color. We can mix it up for you guys right on www.speedokote.com. If you guys are looking for the best, most user-friendly auto body and detail products in the world, one place you guys need to go, www.speedokote.com. They have everything you guys need, start to finish. to get your projects done. If you're putting in an order on the site, go ahead, select me as your rep, Marco. All the proceeds will go ahead and get forwarded right back into the channel so I can continue to show you guys some dirt nasty paint jobs just like this. Wrap it up for this one. See you guys next week.